This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to Dynamic Banter.
Could be louder.
Mike's back.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm just happy I could hear it, I guess.
How's that? Is that better?
It's fine.
Okay. Guys, Mike's back.
Hi. Let's go over everything I missed.
Before we begin,
I took 7 pages of notes.
there's a little Cloverfield news. Did you know that?
No. We don't really talk about that stuff here.
We don't talk about it here, but I didn't want to do a new Cloverfield because it's really not that much information.
Okay.
There was a convention that just happened called CinemaCon.
Huh.
And they said, like, everyone's posting it like this is news, but it was just like
That CinemaCon happened?
no, from this piece of information I'm about to give you is from CinemaCon.
Okay.
Oh no,
Hold on. Owen thinks he could talk on the podcast again.
what?
What theme song did this episode start with?
I'm Owen. If you would be patient, you would know that I'm playing the Cloverfield's music right now.
And if you just listen to this podcast like everybody else
the
listens
thing
to
is
this podcast,
either sit down over here and put on some headphones and join us, or wait till the fucking podcast comes out.
it's the only conversation we've ever had on the podcast is this one.
The thing is we've never talked to you on the podcast before. So it's weird.
What's the news?
It's not important at all. It's literally, and everyone's acting like it's news.
Because there's been nothing else.
I guess so.
Why is the song still playing in the background?
Just to spite Owen.
I can't think about anything else.
Let me see if I can find the news.
It's
like
not
really
important,
ridiculous.
But you're gonna look it up?
Yeah, because everyone's tweeting at me like, "Oh, you guys got to do new Cloverfields. You guys got new Cloverfields."
I heard they're gonna reboot the first movie.
Oh, I don't feel good. Oh no.
I don't like when you burp and then you immediately give me worried eyes.
Oh no. Worried Eyes is my favorite song from the 80s.
I thought of a new rap name this weekend.
Worried Eyes. Okay, I can't find it, but basically it's
Do you
like...
want to hear my new rap name?
I'm going to
before
tell
drop
you
them?
this really quick, and then you're going to tell me your rap name, because I do want to know it.
I'm not gonna want to tell you later.
Well, you're going to have to, because you're going to be respectful of the story I was just telling.
Okay.
The tweet is literally it's like it was just a tweet from CinemaCon, and it was like, the next Cloverfield movie comes out in theaters October 17th, which is something we already knew.
That's the news?
Yeah, and everyone's tweeting it at me like, "Oh shit, new Cloverfield news!"
Yeah.
It's like, we knew this.
Just because something's on the internet doesn't mean it's new. Take a look at Mike and Steve.
Take a look. What's your rap name, Mike?
Old Sandwich.
Wait, does that confirm that God Particle is the new Cloverfield?
I think.
Yeah, but I think that was confirmed a long time ago.
Yeah, that was confirmed a long time ago.
Weeks ago.
I'm glad because it's stupid that you ever thought otherwise.
What's funnier, Old Sandwich or Old Lunch? This your boy Old Lunch.
Old Lunch is real good.
I think it's good.
Well, what if it was Old Sandwich featuring Old Lunch, and Old Lunch was
No,
like
it would
his
have
friend?
to be vice versa. It would have to
Old
be the
Lunch
other way
featuring
around.
Old Sandwich.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking like you could just have a group of old food
Yeah.
products, and it's just older guys rapping.
But that would be the D12. So Old Lunch would be the name of the group itself. Like Jurassic 5.
Yeah, Old Lunch would be the name of the group, and then someone would be
Old Lunch is Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
Old Sandwich is ODB.
yeah.
Old Dirty Sandwich.
But I feel
Old BLT.
Old Crusty Lunchable.
old BLT is really good.
That's good. Good input, Owen.
Keep it up with those. I'm just being a dick. I'm sorry, Owen.
Love you, Owen. Owen, you want a mic over there? You know what the worst part is? Now there's a mic halfway between.
It's not
Because
being
the
used.
piano.
There's a live mic that's pointing at a ghost over there. And Owen could be using it, but instead he wants to torture the audience with a barely like audible sound.
You're the reason they have to turn their speakers up and get annoyed by any number of sounds that happen on this podcast.
I hate to like kind of hijack dynamic banter.
Uh-huh.
But there's a lot to talk about this episode too, I think. But on Slash Film, dated March 20th, which was only 9 days ago.
Okay. That's a week. That's 1 week. Yeah, it's banned.
Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That's 1 week.
One.
And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is another week.
Those are 2 different weeks.
That's too much. I can't not laugh at how stupid that is.
Remember the first episode of Cloverfields? You were like, we shouldn't laugh.
I think I said it about dynamic banter too.
Sure.
What if you had, what if, okay, so I don't want kids.
Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to give them to you.
Well, I'm real sad about it. I'm real shook up about it. I'm all shook up.
Yeah.
But would it be fucked up to like experiment with having a kid just to teach them like incredibly wrong things?
I know what you're
like
saying.
how many days a week there are, and like like you can throw in a new month.
Well, it depends on what season it is.
Convince your kid that there's like a month that doesn't exist.
Well, think
is
of
that
how.
fucked up?
Think of all you'd have to go through to pull the joke off. You know, you would have to.
I'd have to gain its
homeschool
trust.
You'd have to gain the
First,
young one's
gain
trust.
the young person's trust.
Gain senpai's trust.
Yeah. Gain my boy's trust.
Yeah. First of all, you'd have to homeschool him, so you'd have to be home all the time.
No.
Teaching him, no. And you would have to teach him what we call the control variable, which is everything else correctly.
Listen.
So it's funny, because if all his shit is wrong, then that's just sad.
Listen.
But if he understands everything else perfectly, but thinks there's 10 days in a week, that's hilarious.
That's what I'm saying. But like, I don't think you need to homeschool this person.
How long do you think somebody can get through school not knowing how many days?
Well, this
in a
is
week
what I'm saying.
there are?
This is what I'm saying. Like, bear with me here.
I have no choice. There's like 45 minutes left at least.
I'm saying that what we have is a boy or girl that we gain their trust.
I don't like the way that sounds over and over
We
again.
gain these strange boy and girl's trust.
I'm out.
These young children, we gain their trust.
I'm out. Step one.
It's our own boy or girl, so it's legal.
It's legal to gain your own boy's trust.
It is. It's in the Constitution. Listen to this. I'm saying, because I had this idea when I was a kid. Like, basically, I was like a 13-year-old, and I was like, if I ever had kids, I wouldn't let them. I wouldn't let them have access to live TV. What I would do is I'd set up a series of DVDs, like in a 40 DVD disc changer situation.
You don't think they'd hear that thing spinning around?
It doesn't matter. They don't know what it is.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
You do it at a young age, and they don't know what it is. They think that's TV.
You've already gained this boy's trust.
I've already gained this boy's trust because I've been feeding it and clothing it.
Loving it.
The thing is if you love something enough, you gain their trust.
That's 100% true. Both my parents did it with me.
One time, I took a dog in, and I gained its trust, and I had it gain my trust. And then one morning, I woke up and scared it.
Why? Well, that's abuse.
Because I was teaching it a lesson to not
be scared.
to not let your trust be gained so easily.
You know what? Good lesson.
I scared him. I scared him real good. I scared that dog.
You tell him a bad story. You make him watch the news.
No, I told him that I taught that dog about the concept of death, and it understood. You know how I knew it understood? Because it got real sad after I told it. It was never the same.
You ever laying on the couch, right? Maybe you got a snack on your belly, and your dog comes up to me, and he just looks at you, and you think for 1 second, maybe he does something with his eyebrows, and you're like, this dog understands the concept of death.
Show of hands. How many dogs here understand the concept of death?
High five?
I don't think there's. Do you think there's any dogs that understand the concept of death? I don't.
No, absolutely not.
We'll check it out in a second. We'll look on the internet in a second. But,
No, I don't want that on my show. I want to spend time on that.
I don't want that on this show. I don't want that on my show.
No, that's Cloverfield.
Listen,
shit.
what I'm saying is what I originally thought was I would put like Fraggle Rock and Sesame Street and Freakazoid and Animaniacs and shows like that all on this like DVD disc changer.
Big time gap, but I like it.
And I'd say, yeah, of course, but it would all be good cartoons. Sure. There'd be like the Muppet Show in there.
Yeah.
There'd be
the
like
one about the Badgers.
Charlie Brown stuff. Yeah, Emmett
Yeah.
Otter's Jug Band Christmas would be in there for the holiday season. And then I would give them this remote and teach them about how to pick, different movies and stuff and pick different shows. And then I would say that this is TV. I would
Yeah.
say this is TV.
Right.
Everyone in the world has access to this, and everyone in the world is watching this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would send that kid to school, and then I would just, because like I think I'd be creating a weird,
Fraggle.
like a weird kid. I'd be basically like, you know how like some parents want their kid to be like, I want my kid to be into like records and
Yeah.
and patches, and I want them to be cool. I want them to be a nerd. I want them to be like, I want them to like baseball. I want them to like, I want them to be really good at sports. But the thing is like you can't control that at all.
Yeah, you can. You could dress them in little baseball uniforms as soon
Forever.
as they come out.
Yeah. That's like a tiny. Could you imagine?
And then
putting,
you get to be 35 and you're like, fuck you if you don't like the Red Sox. Why do I feel that way? Why do I feel that way so much? I'll fucking beat your ass in a parking lot if you don't like the Boston Red Sox. Why do I feel like that?
Have you ever seen a photo of a just born baby wearing a baseball jersey?
No, they're usually a couple day old by that
right
point.
at that point.
By the time they can go into dicks.
So, but the thing is like you really don't have control over what your son or daughter becomes.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't. You can give them all the baseball shit you want. You can give them all the nerdy shit you want. The thing is what's really going to shape who they are is like their friends.
How much you take away.
How much you take away and how much you control by gaining their trust.
No, you're right.
But the thing is
I
like
believe it was Dave Matthews who said, "Here now, where you home, but who you will, they're really matter."
Sarah Jessica Parker got her mole removed. Did you know this?
I did not. Is she okay? Was it?
It was like
at
it was a
risk?
couple of years ago.
Is that true?
Bree told me about it, and I was like, "Do you think?"
And the news is just coming out now.
No, because we were talking about getting moles removed. We got into that discussion.
Oh, cool! Must have been a hot night.
We got into a deep discussion about it, and she told me Sarah Jessica Parker got her mole removed, and I was like, "Whoa, that's a big deal," because
Yeah.
that's like a part of her basically.
The mole was just as famous.
In fact, she's not famous anymore because of it.
Is she gonna get it reattached?
Well, I was saying, she said people were like wanting it.
No.
Like people were like, "Did you throw it away? Did you throw away your mole?" And like asking her like if they could have her mole.
Did
and
you
stuff.
even make a necklace?
Well, my thing was, why don't you put her mole in the Smithsonian? You could have Sarah Jessica Parker's mole right next to Kermit the Frog,
Or
or the Red Ruby Slippers.
You can put it in an oyster shell and throw it in the ocean.
Someone someday will be like, I'm trying to find a pearl,
Yeah.
and open up that shell and freak the fuck out because
And
they will instantly recognize
be worth even
Sarah
more.
Jessica Parker's mole.
Yeah.
They're like, this oyster houses Sarah Jessica Parker's mole.
Yeah.
That,
Lost mole.
I don't think it would be lost. I think it was intentional.
Lost at sea.
Gulp.
Lost to time.
So anyway, my plan was to. So yeah, that's the thing. Like you can't. My dad wanted my brother and I to be like soccer maniacs. He wanted us to like love soccer, and he got my brother into soccer. My brother played soccer in high school. But he couldn't get me into soccer. Like they tried. They put me in AYSO and they put me in all this other shit, and they dressed me in fucking soccer outfits, and my dad would kick the ball with me outside, and I'd be like, no, I want to go back inside and play with my Ghostbusters shit. Like,
Yeah.
and it just, and I'm sure he was very disappointed by that, but that's what it is.
You can't choose.
So I was thinking, like, one of the reasons. I mean,
Why was the Ghostbusters shit more powerful of an influence than soccer?
Because I think I was always into like fantastical, like supernatural and like scary and unknown things. I was very curious about.
You ever see someone block a penalty kick? That's about as close to a superpower.
It's kind of
as you could-
supernatural.
Yeah.
I've seen those guys kick a ball.
Yeah.
And it goes.
They
like,
do it almost all the
I've
time.
seen Have you seen a man kick a ball? You got to gain their trust. That ball goes like real far, doesn't it? You ever seen it? They'll kick it and it just goes.
I've seen videos.
I've seen them. We can watch them later. We can watch them on the show and we'll listen. But the thing is like, so one of the many reasons why I don't want kids is because there's no way to know if you're going to get an asshole. Like you can't prevent having an asshole. You just can't.
I don't know that that's 100% true.
Oh, I think it is.
I think it has a lot to do with how you raise the kid.
Sure.
And how big of an influence you are in that kid's life.
It's true, but like for a time I was like an asshole to my parents.
Everyone's an asshole for it. See, we can't live in a world where everyone says that the good people are the ones who have never been an asshole before at any point. Everyone's an asshole at some point.
Right.
It's when you're 13.
Right, but some people don't break out of that.
You're right.
And that might have more to do with good parenting, but it also might have to do with just influence. You can't help your kid going and hanging out with assholes and then becoming an asshole.
You can't, but you can help your kid love the parents to want to not disappoint the parents more than they want to gain the approval of the asshole kids.
Sure, but influence.
I'm never saying it's one or the other.
That's what I'm saying. Like you just don't know. It's a roll of the dice.
But your parents are the most consistent influence in your life. If you're a good parent and you're there, like friends, shitty acquaintances are going to come and go. But if you're the kid's parents, you're supposed to be with them through their entire life. So you could be the most consistent influence.
And theoretically, I mean, and I'm not disagreeing with you.
We're politely not fighting with each other.
We're very politely not fighting. I don't disagree with you.
I love you too.
I think parents are definitely the number one influence on their children. Like that's just what there is. But that's what that is. But there's a period of rebelliousness that we all go through where maybe we're an asshole to our parents or whatever. And some people don't come back from that.
Yeah.
And that's just the human mind. That's just the brain. I mean, you could just that's why getting in with the wrong crowd is a thing. Because that really truly does end up affecting people. I mean, sometimes it takes 10 to 20 years before a kid goes through the fucking extreme rebellious phase where they're like fucking looting and doing terrible shit and going to jail and getting into hard drugs and shit. And then eventually they like turn a new leaf. They realize life is good. And then they come back to their family and they say they're sorry. And then of course it's family. So they accept them and they love them and well, whatever.
Right.
But to me, it's like... Having a kid is 100% rolling a dice for that. Like, at least, I mean, it's just one of the many reasons why I don't want kids. Because I'm not willing to risk the, like, chance that I could have an asshole.
Would you rather have a cat?
Well, cats are assholes, too.
I think
a lot of cats are assholes.
Rolling the dice and getting an asshole cat is more of a risk than getting an asshole kid.
Well, you can give a cat away.
You can give a cat a bath. Doesn't mean you can't teach it to fish.
We'll be right back. Good break.
Good break.
But like,
Do you have a sponsor?
yes. But the thing, it's good. Good, on point. And when you need it, it's just right where you need it.
You know, it's not there all the time.
It's not, but when it is, it's good. God damn it. I'm just beating up Owen right now.
Yeah. But I feel like he hasn't been here in so long that it feels comfortable. I think he likes it.
That's true. He hasn't been present for a dynamic banter.
Let's kick it over to Owen.
See when you need him.
Owen, you like it?
When you actually want him.
Owen, nod yes and say yes out loud.
The
if
one
you like
thing
it.
I'll say about Owen forever, as being his friend for like 20 plus years or whatever, is when you want him, he's never there. So anyway, so what I was thinking is like, so I was trying to get around my weird shit about like rolling the dice with kids being just one reason why I don't want kids. And I was like, what if you could like, look, people are fucking engineering their kids. People are now creating their kids. They're they're going to a lab or a doctor and they're spending a lot of money to go like, I want my kids to not have this. I want my kids to have this color hair.
I want mine to be fast.
I want mine to be fast. I want mine to gain trust quickly.
Accelerated trust gainer.
Can we get an accelerated trust in there? And then the doctor would be like, what was that sound after that?
Do you want to actually make an appointment on Thursday to check out that sound?
I've got a doctor you should look at about that sound.
Doctor, there's no time. I need my kid to be fast.
Yeah, you know what? We have telltale signs of people who shouldn't have kids, and you're exhibiting all of them.
I don't know about that.
My thing is my wife and I here have been trying to have a kid for years, and the thing is like we can't. And I love my wife so much, and she loves me, and this is really a point in our relationship where I think we're ready. It's just, for me, it really matters that whatever child we have, boy or girl, whatever, that it has my trust. Yeah, you guys are going to have to leave.
Yeah, I actually got a couple coming in a couple minutes.
And
This has been great.
I'd love to recommend another doctor, but I don't want to put them through that. So my thing is
Do
like,
you validate?
so man, if Nuclear Family was around, that'd be a good sketch.
Yeah,
I feel like.
yeah.
Remember that channel?
No.
That channel's cancellation got overshadowed by the bigger one.
Yeah, that was the point.
But anyway, it's like when Michael Jackson died, and then someone else died real soon after that, and nobody cares. Who was it? Owen? There he goes. Loyal.
Oh, and do you like it?
Consistent. Oh, of the many years of knowing Owen, 20 plus, consistent is something I can say he is.
When you want him,
He's never there. So here's the thing. Because you can design kids now, which to me seems like a kind of cheat in a way.
tall one, pink one.
Tall one, pink one, put them in a stew. The thing is like, the fact that it seems like cheating to me seems like it wouldn't be that different if I had a kid the normal way and then decided to attempt to condition that child in a way that I knew they would become a nerd or at least a really weird person.
Right.
So that's why I was thinking like
Cerebral shit.
Not but the
gene
thing is
planting.
like, you don't want to like toy with a human life that way.
Right.
But I'm never going to have a kid. So anyone who's worried about the way I'm talking about raising a child can just stop worrying, because I'm not going to raise a child.
He had his chance. He didn't know where that guy is.
I gave up. And the thing is I don't want it, so don't worry about this. But I was just thinking, like, could you condition a child to be a nerd or a weirdo if you taught them weird things, like there's definitely an extra month, and no matter what your teachers say, and no matter what the kids out there say, 100% there's an extra month.
That would be like getting raised by John Goodman in 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not
There's
evil.
another month. It's called Funuary. It's the best month.
For 30 days, you eat nothing but ice cream.
And you dance.
And you're going to finish it. Because you trust me.
He did almost.
Dancing every day. It's Funuary. You're going to dance every day. You're going to love it.
The birthday's a Funuary.
Oh, it's going to be fun. You're going to dig your hands into the ice cream. No spoons. No spoons in Funuary. If I catch a spoon in your room, I'm going to get real mad. Funuary is going to be cut short. There's slides.
I'll turn this month right around.
Ooh, I can't wait to put up all those slides around the house. So many slides. From the top of the fridge.
Hey.
Slide.
Margaret, where'd you put the Funuary slides? Which attic is the Funuary?
They're next to the Christmas trees.
Next to the tree. Check it now.
They're next to the Rocktober wreaths.
It's just like an old drum head
Yeah.
with lights on it.
Happy Rocktober. Rocktober's between October and February. 60 days. 60 days. 30 days of rocking. 30 days of fun. And goddamn it, if you have any fun in
It
Rocktober.
sounds like one big used car sale.
Come to the used car sale during Rocktober.
We got 30 days of rocking, 30 days of fun. Every car, $5 off its $10,000 ticket price. They're always having a sale, but it never matters because it's always on like a Geo Metro.
That's the thing. I'm so sick of it. Toyota days. It's like every
Toyota-thon.
fucking day is Toyota day. if
Too
you
many
think about it.
thons, yeah.
Come out this weekend. We got balloons.
Yeah. That's the only marathon I'd run is a Toyota thon.
This is the meeting about Toyota-thon. Well, what if we added balloons?
So the
Does that
Celica
make it a-
drives out, the pavement's wet. We're in front of a glass building at night, but
We could power wash everything.
get it nice and wet.
My question is what makes something a thon? Is it balloons?
It goes on for several days. And balloons.
And balloons.
And hundreds of people.
So we both got fired recently.
That's not true.
Well,
Catch
I
us
mean,
next time.
We got to talk a little bit about the elephant in the room. We can't get too candid, but we can talk a little bit about it.
Candid Carrizales?
We can't be candid Carrizales about it, but we can talk a tiny bit about it. I
All
think we
right.
should.
How long does it have to last? Because I'm going to set my phone.
Listen, Mike, I don't want to push you into anything you don't want to do.
Well,
It's a fresh wound.
Okay.
So, you know, if you're not feeling it, I get it, buddy. I don't want to push you. And
No, let's talk about let's do this.
Well, I mean, look, it happened, and we were part of it,
Yeah.
and we have a continuing podcast that will continue into the foreseeable future. We
Yeah.
don't know if we'll ever stop it, and I hope we don't.
Well, based on past experience,
It
everything
will
goes
stop.
away.
Yeah. One day, one of us will die, and then it'll have to stop.
All I know is that as soon as good-looking people come through your apartment with a clipboard,
Then
I
it's
say we
over.
got about 2 weeks left.
As soon as the Noah's Arcade people come in, then we're fucked.
Would you mind pointing to the sign?
Yeah, man. I mean, we can't avoid it. We got to talk about it. The thing is we can't talk a lot about it, unfortunately.
When does the talking about it part stop and the regular talking
I
about
just
it
want to
start?
set this up a little bit because people are probably like, I mean, this is the first dynamic banter
Ever.
ever. This is the first dynamic banter since SourceFed ended.
Uh-huh.
This is kind of a big deal. I mean, people will be expecting us to say something.
At least 100,000.
And so I just want to be fair to people that are like expecting a little something.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm kind of setting up the talk about it. But I'm also setting it up in a way for the audience to understand that there's actually just not much we can say. But I want to be fair to you that want to know something, at least maybe our feelings, things we haven't said. The thing is like, there's not much we haven't said that we can, that we didn't already say on like the live stream or the last
for like 2 weeks before
Yeah.
SourceFed ended.
That's the thing. It's like the channels were inundated with bad news for
Yeah.
like 2 weeks straight. And like, you know, I'm sure there was a lot of stuff cut out of those videos. But basically everything you saw from when we announced, from basically Table Talk's quote unquote hiatus to the channels being announced that the announcement that the channels were being canceled, and then beyond, like we've basically said everything. Like we've said everything we can say.
1,000 times.
But this is our podcast, and
Yeah.
no one can edit this but us. So I was just wondering if there was anything you wanted to kind of talk about that you could kind of like, without getting in trouble, without it being a big deal. Is there anything you want to say about it, since it is the first podcast since the cancellation?
Honestly,
Sounds like a trap. They'll do it.
Owen's back.
can I just answer?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
I've said exactly what I wanted to say a bunch of times in a bunch of different videos, and it bummed me out that everything was kind of downtrodden towards the end. But I think now it's like when you get broken up with or you break up with somebody, it's like everyone is all your friends console you for a little while, and you could talk about it for a little while, and you have kind of like free reign. But the best thing that you could do for your whole life is just continue to move on. And so now I'm just like, well, job's not coming back. Still have to eat. Still got to pay rent. Still have a wife. Still have whatever we're doing now. Still have
Bills.
All the other things. Still have tons of friend named Bill. And it's
Dixon.
forward. I just done. I was sad about it, and I talked about it every day for 2 weeks.
See, that's the thing. Like I understand that because I feel the same way. Like everything I've said about it, I've already said in like 100 different ways.
Yeah.
And it all kind of amounts to the same exact thing. And it's all genuine. And basically,
no one appreciates Sam.
no one appreciates Sam.
And that's all that's all it is.
The thing is like, for me, I don't think I even like played around with like saying, once it got down to like, this is a video where we're going to be talking about memories of the channel and memories of the hosts, and this is the final live stream. Like, it never occurred to me, as much of a trickster and as much as I love to poke people and as much as I love to like make people uncomfortable, it never occurred to me to utilize those moments as an opportunity to kind of like be a dick and kind of go like, oh, here's a secret or something. Like I did it that one time during that live stream, and it was just whatever, and most of it was made up, and I was just having fun, and because I was sad, and that's how I deal with sadness sometimes. But for the most part, for me, the only way that I personally am able to get over really hurtful things is to either completely distract myself with things that I love and people I love, or talking about it to no end. And a lot of people don't like doing that. And a lot of people, and I appreciate that and I understand that, and I'm learning that a lot in my adult life. But to me, it's like I feel exactly the same way. But I also think, it's just, I think it's only fair to our podcast audience to at least acknowledge the cancellation in some way. Because
100%.
this is a different audience, I feel like.
And also, I think it's important to point out that I wouldn't be opposed to anywhere public doing like a Q&A about like if they I'm thinking about like VidCon and how they might like throw us all together to do some stuff.
Yeah.
Or if we even wanted to have an episode at some point where we're like, talk about whatever. It's just for
like
me
ear
personally
biscuits
right
or
now.
something?
Yeah, whatever. For me personally right now, it's like it was so it's like we haven't gotten a chance to like take a breath and be happy yet.
Yeah.
Because for so many weeks it was just like in your face, this is happening, we're making this for the end.
Yeah.
Like, be on camera and talk about the end for like 2-3 weeks. And it's like it would almost do it justice for me to take a long mental break from it and then come back to it later.
I agree with that.
But if it's your show too, man.
I mean, to me though, like I agree with that and I respect that, and because of that, I don't think we'll go too much longer about it.
Whatever you want to say, man.
But what I do want to say is that like my memory sucks. And like when they asked us at the office, they asked you at the office to do like a SourceFed history video.
Yeah.
And go like, let's just chronicle the history of SourceFed,
Which
from
was impossible. to
yeah,
do.
from the first white wall all the way to now. And
That's
and,
a life noggin job. That's not a Mike Falzone
right?
job.
Or like or some other. It's up to somebody else to make that. Really, like I don't think we should be making things like that. But also like it's kind of what we do. We make videos about things, and so like. I don't know. I felt like it was appropriate and not appropriate, but when they tasked you with that, and then you came to me freaking out because you were like, they want me to make this fucking video, and I don't know anything about the beginning of this place, and I don't know anything about this place really other than my time here.
Well, I just know how involved the audience is, and
Yeah.
I didn't want to leave anything out that was going to piss anybody off.
And that's the thing. Like, the audience knows more than I do.
Right.
And I was a part of it from the very fucking beginning. So, and to me, it's like I forgot a lot of shit. And that's why in the video, the final SourceFed video, it's me and Audrey and Len walking around together, which I really wanted it to be Elliot and Joe and Lee with me, but our schedules are just impossible.
Remind
these days.
me of...
They're little one, tall one, normal one.
Okay.
But they remembered more than I did, and I remembered some things they didn't, but it was a good dynamic because I needed it to be people that actually were there and remembered shit. And that was what it came down to. Like you shouldn't be tasked with writing the history of SourceFed because yeah, you could go to the Wikipedia and copy and paste all of that shit.
Yeah.
But you're right. The audience deserves better than that because
Right.
the audience knows more than we do, and the audience loves the channel. Some of the audience loves the channel more than we do. And,
yeah. And you never know what their favorite... There were so many little things and like break-off shows and like series that lasted for like 2 episodes, series that lasted for like the whole channel.
Yeah.
And you never know what they cared about the most.
Right.
So to breeze over that and there's so much. You can't do it
There's
all.
so much. Like, I didn't even remember the names of shows we tried out for like 2 weeks.
They were
or
like, make
whatever.
make a Netflix documentary
Right?
in
And-
the last 3 days that you're here.
I don't want to get too much into this next thing, but we were toying with the idea of maybe like a mini docu series, maybe. But in order to do that, I think it would need to be a collaboration between people who are no longer a part of it. I mean, that's
friends.
everybody, are no longer friends, and fans. I think fans should be. I mean, maybe someday there'll be like a guy that like knows the most about SourceFed, and he's
Yeah.
just like the SourceFed historian.
SourceFed.
You know, but
there are so many like good compilation
yeah,
videos
yeah.
and stuff from years
fan-made
ago.
stuff. And
Yeah.
so that was going to be an impossible task, especially since there was only a week left of work, and the editors were pushed to the very brink of sanity most of the time.
Everyone was volunteering.
And that's the thing. Everyone was just there on a voluntary basis. Like, they actually told the editors, like, well, you guys can go if you want, but they loved the channel so much and loved each other so much, and the editing team was so close that if any one person had just gotten up and left, it would have fucked over everybody else. And so they decided to just stick it out and work like voluntarily, which is crazy because the job is really hard and not fun sometimes. Most of the time not fun for the editors, but anyway, we're getting a little off track. What I'm trying to say is that I don't remember things, and for me it's like I'm not going to remember this feeling in like a month. Like, I'm not going to remember SourceFed ending in like 3 months. I mean, I'll always remember SourceFed. I'll always have that part of my brain that feels warm and fun about SourceFed. But the details of this is Wednesday. This is the first Wednesday in a week where there is no more SourceFed. That's something that's going to go away for me. And I think it helps me personally to kind of just maybe document a little what I feel. I mean, but the thing is like, you're right. There's not much we haven't already said. The live stream, I felt like...
Well, don't let me put... You say
No, but
whatever
you're
you want to
right.
say, man.
But you're right. Like I'm just saying your feelings about it and my feelings about it are on the same level. But it's just, for me, even bringing this up is like a way for me to document for me how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah.
And how I'm feeling about everything about it in general. And I think that's important because I don't think I'll have that ever again if I don't document it. you
Well,
know?
what if a big company takes over Dynamic Banter and then gets rid of all the episodes?
Oh, we won't let that happen. Hopefully someone's already saved most
I
of them.
hope you keep it in this podcast.
But the final thing I want to say about it, and then we can move on to our sponsor spot and then get to our history roads and stuff, is I actually feel like the live stream was awesome. Like, I loved it.
Yeah. I was telling my mom because she watched a lot of it. Like,
So did my
the
mom.
next day. Maybe our moms are watching together somewhere.
Isn't that beautiful?
It is a beautiful to think about our moms on the same couch, just being proud and sad.
Think about the collected amount of trust between those moms.
Think about how good that room smells.
It smells good. It smells like mom's.
But I was like, that's probably like the only live stream that I would watch.
Yeah, dude.
I was thinking about
Seriously.
that while we were there. Like when I wasn't on screen, a lot of the times when I wasn't looking for food
Or actual water.
yeah, or praying to God that my migraine that I had the entire time went away. Dude, if you watch the superlatives thing, watch my eyes cross because of how in pain my head is. But I was like, I would watch this. It seems like fun. And it seems like everybody's having fun, and I'm sure there were lulls because it's a 6-hour live stream. But
I have this in case of emergency break glass anxiety medication.
Nice.
That like if I start to get a real bad panic attack, or if I feel a panic attack coming along, I can cut this pill in half and take a half, and it will like basically kill the panic attack, and I'll be okay, and it doesn't really affect me at all, except it makes me like maybe a little sleepy.
Sure.
But I accidentally took one before I got into the SourceFed office on the final day, on the stream day.
Okay.
And I was so bummed out because I was like, I don't want to block any feelings.
Yeah.
Even panicked ones.
Right.
Like, and I was so upset with myself. And I was even worried it was going to affect my ability to be there and my ability to perform and be entertaining. But it somehow still worked. But I feel like a lot of it is hazy because of that, and I really fucked up. But there's my little like look out for thing.
Yeah, your little BTS.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, just a little secret, I guess. But
Why did you take a pill on accident?
because I was like, I broke it to take a half with me just in case and keep on me.
And one
I was,
fell down your throat.
No, I was putting a bunch of stuff in my bag, in my backpack, and nobody really noticed. But I even wore my cheeseburger hat, which is like my OG hat. Like that was like one of my first like snapback hats. That was like what
that's the
started.
one the puppet's wearing, right?
No, the one the puppet's wearing is the stop hat.
Oh,
with the
yeah,
stop
you're right,
sign.
you're right, yeah.
But the cheeseburger hat for me is like it holds a lot of memories because it was Todd from Toddland sent Lee and I this care package, and inside was the cheeseburger hat, and I loved it so much that it kind of that started my hat thing. Basically, before that, I was actually wearing like page boy hats and fedoras and shit.
Oh no!
But this was before neckbeards was a thing. Like this was like just before.
Just because it doesn't have a name doesn't mean it's not a thing.
I know. I was a fucking.
It's a thing because it's always a thing until somebody puts a name.
Until somebody puts a name to it. So it was before someone put a name to it. But I was totally a fat neckbeard that wore fedoras at one point. But yeah, that cheeseburger hat was like part of my OG SourceFed days, and so I was putting on the old cheeseburger hat, and I was like, maybe some people will get a kick out of me wearing this again. And it's old and falling apart, and I don't like how it looks on my head anymore, but I still wore it. But but while I was putting all that shit together, I like fucking just put the pill in my mouth and drank it instinctively because I'm like, I've been having a lot of anxiety lately, and I'll just do it because I'm preparing for a fucking exciting day or whatever.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot.
I was like, as soon as I did it, I was like, fuck. Should I puke it up or something? Like I don't want to inhibit this day.
Well, then you gotta waste it, put it back in a bag, and save it,
and have puke all over. I had to boil it. You gotta boil it to get all the puke off.
Boil the half of a pill.
But anyway, I agree with you. I feel like it's a rewatchable stream.
Yeah.
Like in a lot of stuff, I feel like is not rewatchable that we've done. Like I feel like to be a little bit more specific, even the nerd 1 million subscribers video.
Yeah.
I felt like was a big mess at times because everyone got incredibly drunk.
Which times?
But anyway, there was a lot of that. So, but I think this final live stream, I mean, with the joining of the old hosts and new and special guests, I mean, even Norg came in at one point, and Chloe Dykstra was there, and Kezi, the editor, came back, and we invited a lot of people that couldn't come, but like Meg was on the stream, and Maud was on the stream, and Trisha was there, and Lee, and Joe and Elliot, and Bowman came in and fucking lit up the night. Like he came in at the perfect lull.
Yeah.
Like if Bowman hadn't come in when he did, I feel like that would have been the lull. I feel like that would have been the lull in the stream. But it like brought it all back up and it all energized again because he's just such an energetic guy, full of love and life.
And he looks like that, and you can't tell if he's a puppet.
Bowman's just the embodiment of joy and I don't give a fuck and respect. And like that dude's just like from another planet. He's just he's got that southern hospitality ingrained in him and that Southern respect, and he's just like he's the most woke man I know, and he's just I love him so much. So he just lit up the whole fucking office when he came in.
Yeah,
it was so nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's that about that, I guess. But I was really proud of the live stream. I think it was really fun, and I love that we all sang the SourceFed fan song together. And I love that
none of the new people knew what the hell was happening. We did our best, but we were all in the front.
Well, you guys should have read your writer before you came in. You guys should have briefed on SourceFed before you started there. All right, well, let's take a little break and talk about our sponsor today, which is Squarespace. We've talked about Squarespace's beautiful award-winning designer templates. We've talked about their all-in-one platform that doesn't require any software or patches or upgrades. We've talked about their award-winning 24/7 customer service. We've talked about how they offer unique domain experiences that are fully transparent and simple to set up.
You know they do.
We've talked about how they're flexible for any kind of website for creatives, any normal people, businesses, musicians,
Common folk,
designers, artists, restaurants, and more. We just love Squarespace here, and we love that they continue to support this weird little podcast. And, you know, Mike has a Squarespace site, as you know.
I do, mikefalzone.com, where you can find all of my tour dates. Tour starts on April 6th. You can find all the dates on mikefalzone.com, made with love and care from Squarespace.
And I'm definitely going to start one eventually, and I'm going to use Squarespace, of course, because what else would I use?
Why would you? You'd be stupid not to.
I'd be a big moron if I tried to use anything else.
You're
and
an
I mean
idiot.
that.
You're an idiot.
But the thing with Squarespace is we love it so much, and we love their continued support of the podcast. And we love that you guys are using Squarespace. It makes me really happy. And I'd love if you started a Squarespace site for you to just link us on Dynamic Banter, and then we will retweet your site.
Yeah.
So how about free promotion for you guys?
Yeah, why not?
If you want to get your site out there, make a site with Squarespace. Use our code. I'll tell you in a sec what that is. And then send us the link to your site, and we'll retweet it through Dynamic Banter.
Yeah.
And then maybe we'll even feature a favorite site or something and talk about it on the website or on the podcast or something.
I like it.
But either way, I hope you guys check out Squarespace because they're just so awesome and we love them so much. So start your free trial today at squarespace.com and enter the offer code BANTER, and you'll get 10% off your first purchase. That's 10% off using that code BANTER at checkout. Guys, you got no other choice. You got to just use it. It's so fun. It's so
You have
good.
another choice, but they're all dumb.
They're bad choices.
They're bad choices.
So guys, make your next move with Squarespace and make your next website with Squarespace.
Beautiful.
Thanks, man. Anything else, Mike?
I don't think so. Well, I had some stuff. I texted you a talking point.
Did you?
But maybe we'll save that for next time. I do want to say that me and Elliot are going on tour.
Oh, cool.
With our friend Dana Moon and Carrie Martin. Oh, fuck. My phone's all the way over there.
Don't worry about
But it goes from April. It's West Coast tour, and it goes from April 6th to the beginning of May, more or less.
Right.
And all the dates are on mikefalzone.com, and I've been tweeting about them and Instagramming about them. And we'd love to see you. Obviously.
Do you want to talk about your honeymoon at all, or is that too personal?
Didn't we already do that? We had a great time. We went to Mexico. We had a great time.
Yeah, I guess we did talk about it. I don't even know where I am anymore, man. It's been a whirlwind of a couple of weeks.
Uh-huh. Well, you're in your apartment.
Are you sure?
You're welcome.
All right. Well,
I know because I'm in your apartment. I looked around. You're also here, so I can only assume.
Before we get into History Road really quick, this was something I wanted to mention, and then we got real sidetracked with trust. But on March 20th, which was 9 days ago.
Go ahead and take a sip.
Slash Film posted a article that says, Bad Robots Overlord may be a World War II set Cloverfield sequel.
Huh.
How does it connect? So this is the first I'm hearing of something called Overlord, and it's definitely the first time we're hearing it referenced as a Cloverfield film.
World War II?
World War II. So that's pretty rad. So here's the article. You want me to read it? I'll read it real quick. J.J. Abrams fans love good mystery, and it looks like we have another one on our hands. Back in February, we heard that son-of-a-gun director Julius Avery would be directing a World War II film called Overlord for Paramount and Bad Robot. But now a new piece of information has come to light that may indicate the film is part of the slowly growing Cloververse. Let's explore the possible Overlord Cloverfield connections. Overlord Cloverfield sequel? Thanks to a press release tweeted out by the tracking board's Jeff Schneider.
How hard are you trying not to say Overlord Cloverlord sequel?
Or Clover Lord?
Cloverlord.
Let's start a new podcast called Clover Lord Feels. Clover Lord Feels. We now know the film will star Fences actor Jovan Adepo, who played Denzel Washington's son in that movie, and rising star Wyatt Russell. Ooh, he was in that Black Mirror episode about the VR stuff.
Huh.
Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn's son. By Dan Trachtenberg. That's right. Dan Trachtenberg directed that Black Mirror episode starring
Exclusive.
that boy. Wow, this is great. Fuck, maybe we should have a new Cloverfields episode.
Yeah.
Too bad.
We say all the same stuff.
Mm-hmm. Who's been great in everything from 22 Jump Street to Black Mirror to Everybody Wants Some, and now and before we start speculating, take a look at the synopsis for Overlord so we're all on the same page. On the eve of D-Day, American paratroopers are dropped behind enemy lines to carry out a mission crucial to the invasion's success. But as they approach their target, they begin to realize there's more going on in this Nazi-occupied village than a simple military operation.
I thought you were going to say, but on their way to solve the problem, they discovered how delicious Slusho is.
And Swamp Pop, not in game. They find themselves fighting against supernatural forces, part of a Nazi experiment. That's super cool. First of all, that premise has got me.
Yeah.
Because I fucking love weird Nazi
Love
supernatural
me some altered
stuff.
Nazis.
Dude, listen, ever since Indiana Jones, ever since Raiders of the Lost Ark, when they were like looking for the Ark of the Covenant because they want to do some, we still don't know what they were trying to do with it, but but it's a very supernatural
It's
thing.
in game.
And then Hellboy, the comic, which was all about how I mean, I guess in real life, in real history, Hitler was kind of like obsessed with the occult and he liked supernatural stuff, and he actually even my history might be mixed up with Hellboy stuff, Hellboy comics from years of reading Hellboy comics, but I feel like Hitler and the Spear of Destiny is something that is actually real, because they even tried to make a Spear of Destiny Indiana Jones game way back in the day, and it was going to involve Hitler and Indy dealing with Hitler directly. But the
Like
Spear
a
of Destiny for one of those pixelated point and click adventure games. But the Spear of Destiny, for those of you that don't know, is hypothetically is the spear that pierced Jesus when he was on the cross that the Romans like cut his stomach with, or whatever. So they're saying that has like magical occult properties because it actually cut Jesus or whatever. So anyway, old spear. So anyway, so I'm fucking fascinated with that shit. So I'm already into this idea, but this is what it says. The news that's raising eyebrows is that Overlord is being produced not only by Abrams, but also by Lindsay Weber. She produced last year's 10 Cloverfield Lane, Dan Trachtenberg's contained thriller that became the second entry in the nascent Cloververse, a burgeoning anthology series where filmmakers tell very loose connected science fiction stories. So could Overlord be a new entry? It's certainly possible, and considering Bad Robot's love of secrecy, it's incredibly unlikely that they'd come out and openly cop to that at this stage in the game. Remember, we didn't even know 10 Cloverfield Lane was a Cloverfield movie until less than 2 months before it opened in theaters. So anyway, and then it goes on to say how the Cloverfield movies connect, and then how Overlord could fit into the Cloververse, which maybe we could just save. Well, we could save that for Cloverfields, I guess.
Sure.
But it's pretty cool, right? Pretty cool?
Absolutely.
All right, so anyway, let's get to History Road and then get the hell out of here. So let me pick one here.
These have been great recently.
They have certainly been great. Okay, let's do this one. This is a spring break History Road.
Nice. Topical.
From David Giordano. So let me boost Owen's mic over there. Owen, let's get some levels from you.
He's always there when you want him.
And with Owen Carter being present for this dynamic banter, it means that we get the return of Owen on the keys. Okay.
The tapping's louder.
The tapping is louder than the music, but it's gonna be all right. I feel like. Yeah, that works. Whatever. All right, this is from David Giordano. He says, "Hey, boys, this history road is a homework from my English class about what happened over our spring break. I hope y'all's like it. Sorry if it's long."
He's double dipping?
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about repurposed history roads.
Yeah.
You know, it's like...
This was for somebody else.
Is it for us or is it for your teacher? Is it for a grade? Is it for a fun podcast?
Yeah. You trying to pop your teacher?
I'm going to do it this once, but next time keep that information to yourself.
Next time you have a history road, keep it to yourself.
We plan to take a trip to New York. Most people visit the beach or a warm location for spring break. However, I wanted to take a tour of New York University and see a Broadway show. Owen, can you play Jellicle Cats? He wanted to see a Broadway show.
Gelatin cats.
Jellicle Cat, Jellicle Cat, Jellicle, and Jellicle Cat, and Jellicle Cats, and Jellicle Cat, and Jellicle, and key change. Jellicle Cats, Angelical, and Angelical Cats, Angelical Cats, Angelical Cat, Angelical Cats, Angelical Cats, Angelical Cats, Angelical Cats, Angelical Cats, Angelical Cats, Angelical Cats.
Welcome to Key Change the Musical.
However, the weatherman, alluding to a large snowstorm, threw a fairly large wrench into our well-oiled machine. In order to stall this impending storm, I praised logic and prayed to the great goddess Manhattana that the storm would not occur and I could once again visit her great city. The great goddess answered my prayer by telling me, "The snow shall not fall, as the prophet Alan Roker has predicted. You may once again come to my great metropolis." I relayed these words to my mother. However, she, misconstruing the words, canceled the trip.
My mother put me in a home after yelling at her
about what Manhattan said to me. Moving the dates to next month. I knew that by not visiting her great city, the goddess Manhattana would soon enact a punishment upon me. These fears were soon legitimized when I woke up, and my room was littered with rotting extra-large pizza slices and ripped I Love New York City shirts. I knew I would not be able to placate the goddess's rage. She must be killed. I do not have my driver's license. However, my mother would never drive me where I needed to go, so I hopped in the family VW Jetta and sped off. I headed north towards the famed Lincoln Tunnel, as I learned a long time ago of a secret portal that would take me to her dimension. However, I knew getting to the rift would be a difficult task. I parked my car at a nearby school, walked about 40 feet to the manhole, which leads to the secret passageways that run beneath the Lincoln Tunnel. A small copper plaque next to the hole read, "To all those who enter, don't." This daunting message did not deter me from my quest. It merely stoked the already large burning fire deep within me. After reaching the bottom of the ladder, I felt the dank ground through my shoes. The stink of fungi and sewage permeated the walls of the passage. No living being had walked these halls for aeons, or at least that was what she wanted me to think. I proceeded down the path and soon came across my obstacle. Two stout taxi drivers stood my way, the first dual-wielding pasta guns. Racist. Which is common self-defense weapons for New York taxi drivers. Mike, how do you feel about that?
It's a hard pass.
Wore a mustard-stained button-up shirt and khakis that were just a little bit too tight. The second held nunchucks. However, instead of usual 2 sticks, there were 2 large Empire State Building models attached by a chain. I brought no counter-weapons for these goons, as I'm trained in New York City stereotype hand-to-hand combat. I started to walk forward with acknowledging the 2 men. I started to walk forward without acknowledging the 2 men. They proceeded to step in front of me. "I'm walking here! I'm walking!" I exclaimed these traditional words, signaling the battle had begun. I dodged a flurry of penne pasta and quickly disarmed the first taxi driver. Taking one of his guns and pocketing the second, I fired tasty pasta bullet into his head. The second driver seemed more adept. He skillfully approached and attacked with his statues, knocking the pasta pistol right out of my hands.
Whoa!
My defenses faltered, and the man landed several hits with his Empire State Building statues. However, these models seemed to be of poor quality as they broke after the 4th hit. A single punch and his big unconscious body hit the wet ground, and an unfortunate squelch. I continued down the hallway and soon found the pale green gateway and jumped right in. I found myself in a beautiful penthouse apartment with a lovely view of Central Park. On the couch, drinking a martini and painting a landscape of the view, sat a middle-aged woman dressed in a completely green pantsuit. I pulled out the second pasta gun. Without looking at me, she waved her hand, and the gun turned into a piping hot pastrami sandwich, which I was unable to eat as it burned my hand, causing me to drop it. There is no need for violence. I only wish to make you understand my power, not hurt you. Come here. I sat down on the couch next to her. She smelled of freshly baked bagels. Kiss the ring. For some reason, she sounded exactly like Vito Corleone. Kiss the ring. I quickly did as she commanded, and I was teleported back to my room. Owen, can you play that New York? That like Chopin or what's the thing that's like in the new Fantasia
That Alicia Keys song?
Rhapsody in Blue.
Rhapsody in Blue, that's what it was.
No.
Okay. Well, that's it, guys. That's it for that History Road. Thank you, Owen, for your playing.
When you want him.
When you want him. It was nice to have you back, Owen. David Giordano, thank you for that History Road. And thank you, everyone, for listening to the podcast and enjoying the podcast. And thank you for your continued support. We got some news. I think we're going to restock the T-shirts soon.
Yeah.
Turns out the T-shirts were a big hit. You guys liked those a lot, and we
a
want
lot
to thank
more
you.
people want them, so we wanted to make sure that you can get them before we made like a new design. And then what I'm thinking is maybe once this run of the original T-shirts is over, we'll put that out of its. We'll make that
we'll
like
make
a
it so it was
edition.
a limited thing. Yeah, so we'll
Right.
do one more run.
Mm-hmm.
So if you didn't get one, this is your last chance, conceivably. And then we're gonna do some new designs soon, so stay tuned for that. Turns out we might need a little work, so we're gonna put more product out there for you guys if you want to buy it.
And thank you all for every time you take a picture and send it to the Twitter or the Instagram stuff.
The Instagram is really popping right now. Everyone's participating, and it's all you guys. You guys are sending us some really great pictures, and don't forget to tag Dynamic Banter on Instagram when you post your fan art or photos of you wearing the t-shirts, or anything that kind of just inspires you about the podcast, some kind of history road, maybe even related thing. If you want to just tag Dynamic Banter, we are featuring new images every week.
Which is all awesome. It makes us seem like we're one of those big, like, in touch with the youth companies.
I feel like we're building a little community here. We are really building like a fun little family with the Dynamic Banter listeners, and I can't wait to start doing live shows to meet all you guys.
Absolutely. And you know what I would love to see? A little picture challenge if you guys are up for it.
Oh, do it, Mike.
I would like you to take a selfie in a public place around a lot of other strangers, you trying not to laugh at the podcast.
That's a great idea. So find a moment in the
bus.
podcast. Because you guys tweeted us a lot that you're trying not to laugh in certain places while you're listening to the podcast. So take a picture of yourself during those moments. And we would love to see where you guys are at, and that's a fun photo challenge. I like that.
Even if you have to fake it.
Yeah, if you want to fake it, that's fine. But it would be great to get genuine ones. Nice work, Mike. What do you want to use a hashtag, or they should just
hashtag faking it.
Hashtag faking it. But don't forget to tag Dynamic Banter, the Instagram account.
It should be like hashtag Dynamic Banter in public,
or like DB photo challenge.
No, I don't like anything
too
with
long.
Challenge in the title.
Okay. All right. Well, whatever. It doesn't have to have a hashtag. Just make sure to tag the Dynamic Banter Instagram account by just doing a search for that. Okay. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. If you want to submit your history roads, you can send those to dynamicbanter@gmail.com.
If you got any cool hashtag suggestions, go ahead and toss them.
We're going to ignore those and not use them. And if you guys want to tweet at us some fun stuff, too, because we also are active on Twitter, Mike Falzone and I, you can go to at Dynamic Banter. And that's where you find us on Twitter.
You're right.
So thank you guys so much for listening. Thanks to Squarespace, and thanks to Mike.
And thanks to you. Thanks to these microphones.
All right, we'll catch you guys next time.
All right.
Bye-bye.
That was a HeadGum podcast.